Good evening and welcome to the Channel studio in London with your international news around the world in 5. In the UK, there's been criticism and confusion after Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced some quarantine measures will be eased in the country. In a televised speech, Mr Johnson outlined plans to begin slowly easing the almost 7 weeks long coronavirus lockdown. He announced a limited easing of restrictions, including allowing people to exercise outside more often and encouraging those who cannot work from home to return to their jobs. However, he specified the coronavirus lockdown will not end yet in the UK, urging people to stay alert.
And so, no, this is not the time simply to end the lockdown this week. Instead, we're taking the first careful steps to modify our measures. And the first step is a change of emphasis that we hope that people will act on this week. We said that you should work from home if you can and only go to work if you must. We now need to stress that anyone who can't work from home, for instance, those in construction or manufacturing, should be actively encouraged to go to work, and we want it to be safe for you to get to work. So you should avoid public transport if at all possible, because we must and will maintain social distancing and capacity will therefore be limited.
Meanwhile, across Europe, other countries are also easing restrictions. France has cautiously begun to lift its lockdown, with millions back in work after 8 weeks of restrictions. Shops are reopening, many pupils are returning to primary schools, and people will not need travel certificates when they leave home. But some parts of the country, including the capital Paris, remain under tighter controls, with the country split into green and red zones. Meanwhile, Belgium is opening up shops and the Netherlands are reopening libraries and hairdressers. In Spain, some restaurants can now open their doors, provided they impose social distancing rules. New coronavirus clusters have been reported in Wuhan City, where the virus first emerged, and the northeastern province of Jilin in China. Wuhan reported 5 new cases on Monday after confirming its first case since the 3rd of April. Authorities said the small cluster of cases were all from the same residential compound. China has been easing restrictions in recent weeks and cases had been declining. The small Wuhan cluster is the first to emerge since the end of the strict lockdown on the 8th of April. One of the 5 cases reported on Monday was the wife and an 89-year-old man who became the first confirmed case in the city in well over a month. Senegal's holy city of Touba is fighting a second wave of COVID-19 infections, indicating that swift action by authorities may not have stopped the virus from spreading. Confirmed cases in Touba have risen 7-fold to more than 190 since a market trader fell ill in April, ending a 2-week lull in new cases. The city confirmed its 27th case on Monday. An Iranian warship has accidentally struck another one with a missile during an exercise, killing 19 sailors and wounding 15 others. According to Iran's Navy, the incident took place during the training in the Gulf of Oman, a sensitive waterway that connects the Strait of Hormuz, through which about 1/5 of the world's oil passes. Iran regularly conducts exercises in that area. Iran's state broadcaster says the frigate Jamaran fired at a training target released by a support ship, the Konarak. However, the support ship stayed too close to the target and was hit. In Russia, a fire in a private hospice for elderly people has killed 9 people and forced 9 others to be hospitalized. Russian investigators of the Moscow region announced they had detained the owner of the hospice. They said the blaze was likely caused by faulty electrical wiring, and a criminal investigation had been opened to establish potential violations of the safety rules. In Afghanistan, at least 4 people, including a child, have been injured after 4 back-to-back explosions in the capital, Kabul. The blasts were caused by roadside bombs targeted on a convoy of Afghan security personnel. So far, no group has claimed responsibility for the attack. The Afghan government forces have suffered heavy casualties in the past 2 months, and this might pose an immediate threat to the fragile peace deal signed by the United States and the Taliban. And finally, in southern India, millions of baby olive ridley turtles have made their way out from the beaches and into the sea. The number of newborn turtles is far larger than in previous years, as the virus pandemic has forced many people to stay home and beaches have been deserted. Rushikulya Beach in southeastern Odisha state is known to be one of the few rookeries in the world where the olive ridley turtles come to lay their eggs. Experts and authorities estimate that the turtles laid around 60 million eggs in Indian beaches this year. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel studios in Lagos.